All right, guys, welcome to the Downtown Rams podcast. We have a very special guest. We have Hall of Fame wide receiver of the Rams, Isaac Bruce. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, all is well, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, totally. We're excited to talk to you and really curious to hear your thoughts on this upcoming Rams season. So to start this off, what is your initial expectation of the Rams in 2020?
Well, I think, contrary to popular belief, I think the Rams had a pretty decent season last year. I mean, to finish 9-7 and to be playing in one of the toughest divisions in football and to have the two last representatives of the NFC conference right in our division, I think they played pretty well. I mean, we're a couple of points from being a true contender for the playoffs last year, and I'm looking to add on to that. And I think we have a great mixture of guys, also leadership to not only put us over the top, but maybe make a deep run into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you there, for sure. I think this team, had a couple bounces that didn't go their way, maybe a call here and there. And I don't think they were far off from being 11-5 last year. I really don't. Coming into this year, though, obviously, being a Hall of Fame wideout yourself, I want to ask you what most stands out to you when you watch these Rams wide receivers?
It's a great group. I think, just being led by a guy like Robert Woods, the experience that Cooper Kupp has gotten here these past seasons, and it's definitely a group that can be trusted by the coordinator, by the quarterback Jared Goff. I think Josh, his last name slips me right now, but just his emergence and being a valuable asset to the offense, the drafting of Van Jefferson, I think that bodes well for us. And it's going to be a lot of competition, as it should be, for those top three spots. I think guys are going to push each other. And I think these guys now are used to making plays on a very high level. So I'm expecting more from that group, a lot more than what I got last year as well.
Yeah, and, speaking of Jared Goff a little bit, he struggled a little bit last season, but a lot of the criticism on him might have been a little bit unfair because the offensive line went through a lot of changes as well. Going into, this 2020 season, do you expect there to be more fluidity between him and the offensive line, and do you think he'll kind of get back to where he was the season that the Rams went to the Super Bowl?
Let's make no mistakes about it. I think everything starts and finishes with what you have up front, as far as guys being able to protect the offensive lineman in a running game. As the offensive line goes, and the guys can have some continuity there with each other, and hopefully within this short time span of not being able to really, do walkthroughs and have that connection with each other in camp, that group can mesh. I think it only bodes well for Jared Goff's production and as a team as a whole, because once you get the running game going, and that becomes the nucleus and the catalyst of what you want to do offensively, I think it bodes well for everybody.
I agree with that. And now, being a Memphis guy yourself, what are your thoughts on the Rams running back Darrell Henderson? He was my top running back in the draft a year ago. I think, he's got a lot of juice to him. I know they just added Cam Akers. You have Malcolm Brown.
Right.
It's a really good backfield, but I think people are sleeping a little bit on DH27. What are your thoughts on him moving forward, his role this year and beyond?
Well, I think it's a perfect opportunity. I mean, we tend to know who guys are between their rookie seasons and their sophomore season. So hopefully, he gets that true opportunity, which I believe he will, to be the first guy. I mean, if he's that number one guy, that'd be great. Definitely if he has that mindset. Because I think, with the addition of Cam Akers, it bodes well for one of those offenses where guys are going to be fighting to get on the field. I think it's going to be one of those spotlighted groups and hopefully those guys rise to the challenge and challenge each other. And not only that, but encourage and they feed off one another.
Yeah, totally. And, we had your former coach, Dick Vermeil, on the show before. We love him a lot. And this next question is just having played for coaches like Dick Vermeil and Mike Martz, do you feel Sean McVay is already or has a chance to be as great as those coaches?
Most definitely has a chance. He has an opportunity. I think he came in, not many people knew a lot about him, but once he took the reins, he was able to put his imprint on an offense and on an organization. I think, what he's done, his resume thus far is really, really good. What I get from him is that he's content but not satisfied, and I think he's in a position to really, really put his imprint on this team and then on this offense, like I think we can. And he proved it with the Super Bowl run, and now it's all about when teams adjust to what you do. How can you adjust to what they've adjusted to you doing? So if he can come out with some new wrinkles, make this offense formidable again, with the spotlight being on the running game, I'll be happy. I'm sure he'll be happy as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Do you feel like this team has a cap for their ceiling, or how do you view this team? Because I look at this team, and first thing I think of is really this sky's the limit type of team. They have a lot that's really unproven here. There's a lot of turnover. I feel like it can kind of go either way. How do you really view this team as far as potential in 2021 or 2020 to 2021?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to look at the defense. We do have a new defensive coordinator coming in, but we have guys on the defense who, it bodes well for them to play well. I mean, starting off with Jalen Ramsey, I think with him being in a contract year, I think, he goes out and plays well. I think he's one of the better cornerbacks in our league, and what he can do as far as taking away one side of the field, he can cover your best guy from the opposite team, and he gives the defense an opportunity to be more exotic, blitz packages, guys who can do things a little bit differently, play zone on one side, play man on the other side. So that's great for a coordinator to have that opportunity. So I think it leads with the defense being able to have those significant stops. It is a passing lead, but once you're able to do some different stuff with guys like Aaron Donald and Brockers up front, with Ramsey manning half of the field, I think it's going to start with defense, and hopefully they'll outshine what we have on the other side.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that it's going to be really interesting to watch the defense next season. But hey, Isaac, thank you so much for coming on the show. We are such big fans. It's always good to be able to catch up with you. I mentioned here in the show that I played in your flag football challenge last year, which was a blast, and you and I got to talk there a little bit. I'm actually going to be playing some football today, and I told the people that I'm playing with that I was going to ask you for a tip. At wide receiver, if you have any tips for me. And do you think that I will be able to make a one-handed catch? I mean, you can be honest. Do you think I'll be able to pull it off, or should I just really focus on getting both my hands on the ball?
Well, first of all, I think, when you catch the football, always go at it with two hands. I always said that receivers who have to dive for footballs and ultimately have to catch them with one hand aren't as fast as they should be. So maybe you start working on that speed, and I anticipate you catching everything with two hands.
Yeah. Yep, that's solid advice. I'll do that, and hopefully we'll see my highlights on SportsCenter here in a couple of days. But, yeah, so thank you again so much for coming on. It's always good to talk to you, and it means a lot to us.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, man.